Hi, this is Alex Brown from howtomates.com. Welcome to C++ tutorials. So, first of all, this is our first tutorial. In this tutorial, we are going to learn these things: computer, hardware, software, assembler, compiler, and processing in C++ program. What are computers? Computers are electronic devices which compute data by input and output. Storage performing logical operations and mathematical operations. For computer programming, you must have a basic knowledge of computer operations, mathematical formulas, and basic knowledge of mathematics and algebra. Hardware. The simple definition of hardware are the components of computer which are in hard form. For example, RAM, CPU, monitor, keyboard, mouse, etc. RAM is called main memory and the hard drive is called secondary memory. CPU, Central Processing Unit, which is the brain of the computer. The data we input is processed by the CPU and is stored in the RAM or storage device, and then it return it to processor, which is then output the information on computer screen or monitor. What is main memory? Main memory is the sequential block or cells in a computer memory or RAM, and all program must be loaded in main memory before execution. This memory is comparatively less than storage memory of hard drive, and when the computer is turned off, everything in the main memory is lost. Softwares. All those things which are in the soft form are called softwares. For example, PowerPoint, Excel, compiler, Windows. Windows is operating system and also called mega software because all the other softwares which you run on the computer are run on the OS, and once you start your computer, OS is definitely going to run because it has a direct relation with the computer, and those softwares which have direct relation with the computer are called system software, and those who don't have direct relation with the computer are called application software. Language of computer. The signals in computer are transformed into electronic pulses. There are two electronic signals: analog signals and digital signals. In analog signals, while moving from a particular number, for example, let's say from 1 to 2, you have to cover a infinite real number between 1 and 2, while in digital you directly jump into number. For example, from 1 to 2, you don't need to uh, pass through the number 1.1 between 1 and 2. Computed digitals are bits, that is 0 and 1. They are called binary, and each digit that is 0 or 1 is called bit. Machine language. Everything we do in the computer is transferred into corresponding binary information, which is called machine language. Even when we press a asterisk, it has corresponding binary signal and binary number through which computer understand that the on keyboard asterisk was pressed. And there is a table of 256 character which is called ASCII character, and this, according to this character, every character on the keyboard and means every information have a corresponding binary digit or decimal digit. uh, there is the table. In the past, programs were written in the form of machine language, which is 0 and 1, and there were different commands for different things, and programmers were to remember those commands like 100 100 for loading, and 1000 for storing, and it was a headache for programmers. So they thought that they must form a another code, and that was called assembly language for addition add and for subtraction sub was formed, but it still was a big headache for programmers because they still need to remember many things. And then the high level language were introduced, and these language are not computer friendly, but they are human friendly. So to make them computer friendly and to translate our code into machine language, compiler was introduced. This is our first C++ program, and you don't need to understand this program in this step. And the line here is called header file, okay, and the whole code is called source code. The compiler converts source code into object file, and object file is linked with the header file you have included in this. This file has actually the pre-written codes, and your program is linked with these pre-written codes, and an L file is generated which show the file formed by the linker is called .l file. The .l file is loaded, and exe file is generated, and your program is now ready. But the good thing is that you don't need to repeat these process again and again, or even at a single time. You don't need to do this all steps. You will just click a single button on the compiler, and your program will be running. Okay, and there is image of the whole process. First you write a source code which is processed by the processor, and it is compiled by the compiler, linked by the, and the compiler actually creates the object file which is linked with the header file in the linker, and creates the .exe file, or .exe file is then loaded into the CPU, and which is output on the screen. So this is the whole step, whole cycle of the program execution. What is assignment? The assignment is to learn the ASCII table for capital letters, capital A to capital Z, and small a to small z, and numbers 0 to 9. Actually, these assignments are very important, and if you don't learn these characters, you're not going to learn programming language, because these characters have a lot of things to do in the programming language. Okay, so the slides are available in the description, and for more information must visit www.howtomates.com, and for any query you can mail me at howtomates at gmail.com. Thanks for watching. That's from the first tutorial. Bye bye.